Stop scrolling right now. Listen carefully. This moment is not accidental, and your presence here is not random. Something has shifted in the unseen realm, and your name was spoken where time does not exist. Heaven is attentive to you right now, and I am speaking because your heart is ready to hear what your mind has been too busy to notice. I know how heavy your days have felt. I know how you smile for others while carrying questions that never leave you alone. I know the quiet moments when memories return without warning, when your chest tightens and you wonder if life will ever feel light again. I see you. Before you dismiss this as coincidence, pause. Breathe. Let your spirit settle. This message is not rushing you, but it is calling you to awareness. There are seasons when I whisper, and there are moments when I speak plainly. This is one of those moments. I am not distant from your pain. I am not unaware of your grief. I am not offended by your questions. I am closer than your next breath, and I have been with you in every silent struggle you thought no one noticed. There are things you have been carrying that were never meant to stay on your shoulders. Guilt you replay. Conversations you wish you could redo. Words you wish you had spoken differently. Love you feel had no proper ending. These thoughts return late at night, uninvited, and you ask yourself if peace is still possible. Hear me now. Peace is not gone. It has simply been waiting for permission to enter. You are not weak because you feel deeply. You are not faithless because you grieve. Love leaves an imprint, and grief is evidence that your heart was alive, not broken. But grief was never meant to become your identity. I'm calling you out of survival mode and back into living. There are lessons hidden inside what you lost. Strength you haven't discovered yet. Compassion forming inside you that will one day heal others. What tried to break you is becoming the foundation of your wisdom. If this is resonating with you right now, don't rush past it. If you agree with this truth, type yes in the comments as an act of alignment. I am teaching you something important in this season. Closure does not always come from answers. Sometimes it comes from acceptance, surrender, and trust that I see the full picture even when you see fragments. You do not need to punish yourself to honor the past. You do not need to stay stuck to prove love was real. Love is proven by how you live forward, not by how long you suffer. You still have purpose ahead of you. You still have people to impact, joy to experience, laughter to rediscover. Your story did not end where your pain began. Do not measure your future through the lens of what you lost. Measure it through the strength you are gaining right now. I am restoring your inner balance, slowly, gently, deeply. And I am asking you to participate in that healing, not resist it. Release what you cannot change. Receive what you can become. If you feel a quiet confirmation in your spirit, comment, "I receive this" below, and let that be your declaration. Stay with me through this entire message series. Do not leave early. What unfolds next will connect pieces you didn't even realize were missing. And it will equip you with tools you can apply in your daily life, not just words you hear once. Before you go, let me ask you something important. If these words have brought you peace, clarity, or comfort, even a small amount, like this video, so it can reach others who are silently struggling. If you desire consistent encouragement and guidance, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what is coming next. And if you feel led, if these words have genuinely helped your heart, support this ministry through the link given below. Not out of obligation, but out of gratitude and purpose, so this message can continue reaching those who need it most. Stay with me. Watch till the end of this series. Apply what you hear. Let it shape your life gently and truthfully. I am not finished speaking to you. Stay with me. Do not let your attention drift, because what I am unfolding now is meant to meet you exactly where you are standing in life. I know the questions you carry. Some you speak aloud, others you keep buried because you are tired of explaining your pain. You wonder why certain doors closed the way they did. You wonder why some prayers felt unanswered. You wonder if I was silent, or if you simply could not hear me through the noise of disappointment. Listen closely now. I have never abandoned you, not for a single moment. Even when you felt forgotten, I was present. Even when your strength ran out, I was sustaining you in ways you did not recognize at the time. There are seasons when growth happens quietly, beneath the surface, before any visible change appears. What you called delay was preparation. What you called loss was redirection. What you called weakness was the place where humility shaped your strength. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not failing. You are becoming. I see how comparison has crept into your thoughts. You look at others and wonder why their journey seems smoother, their answers clearer, their joy more visible. But you do not see the full weight they carry, just as others do not see yours. Your path is not meant to mirror anyone else's. It is designed specifically for the purpose I placed within you. If this truth is settling into your heart right now, pause and type, "I understand" in the comments, not for others, but as a moment of honesty with yourself. I am teaching you discernment in this season. Not everything that feels urgent is important. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every open door is meant to be entered. Peace is one of my clearest indicators. If something steals it, examine it carefully. There are habits you must release, thought patterns that no longer serve you, conversations that drain you instead of building you. You cannot step into new freedom while clinging to old cycles. This is not punishment. This is refinement. You have outgrown certain versions of yourself, and discomfort is simply the signal that transformation is taking place. Do not rush this process. Growth, rooted in patience, lasts longer than change driven by fear. I am also asking you to forgive, not because what happened was acceptable, but because bitterness will poison places in you that pain alone could not reach. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing to stop reliving the wound every day. You deserve peace more than you deserve the burden of resentment. If you are willing to begin that release, write, "I choose peace," below, and let that decision start internally, even if emotions take time to catch up. I know you worry about the future, about stability, about whether joy will return in a way that feels genuine again. I am not asking you to ignore reality. I am asking you to trust that I am already present in what you fear is coming. The future does not scare me. I am already there, making room for you. You will not walk into tomorrow unprepared. You will walk into it strengthened, wiser, and more aware of your own resilience than ever before. There will be moments when old feelings try to return, doubt, sadness, regret, but they will no longer have authority over you. You are learning how to respond instead of react, how to pause instead of panic. This is maturity. This is healing. This is progress, even when it feels subtle. I want you to apply this in your daily life. When anxiety rises, slow your breathing. When regret speaks, answer it with truth. When fear whispers, remind yourself of how far you have already come. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. If you feel encouraged by this reminder, comment, "I'm growing," as a quiet acknowledgement of the work happening inside you. Remain with this series until the end. Each part is designed to build upon the last, forming clarity, stability, and hope in layers. Not rushed, not shallow, but deeply rooted. What is coming next will help you understand why certain struggles repeat and how to finally break those cycles with wisdom instead of exhaustion. You are not meant to merely endure life. You are meant to live it with intention, awareness, and quiet confidence. Stay present. Stay open. Stay willing. I am guiding you step by step. Remain here with me. Do not rush away from this moment, because what I am revealing now is meant to steady you, not overwhelm you. You have been learning how to carry yourself through uncertainty, but there are still moments when your thoughts wander into fear. I see the way your mind revisits old endings and tries to predict new ones based on past pain. That habit was formed as protection, but it is no longer serving you. You are safe to release it. I am not asking you to forget what you learned. I am asking you to stop letting yesterday decide how tomorrow will unfold. Wisdom remembers without reliving. Healing allows memory without control. You are stronger than you think, not because life has been easy, but because you are still standing with compassion intact. Many would have hardened their hearts by now. You did not. That matters more than you realize. There is a quiet courage forming inside you. It does not announce itself loudly. It shows up when you choose patience instead of reaction. It shows up when you speak kindly to yourself instead of repeating harsh inner dialogue. It shows up when you rest instead of pushing yourself to exhaustion. This is how renewal begins. I know you sometimes feel pressure to figure everything out. You believe clarity must come all at once, like a sudden breakthrough. But most transformation happens through consistent, faithful steps that feel ordinary in the moment. Trust the process you are in. You are not lost. You are being led. If this truth is grounding you right now, pause and write, "I trust the process," in the comments, not as a performance, but as a reminder you can return to later. Let me speak gently but clearly. You cannot heal in environments that keep reopening the same wounds. That includes physical spaces, relationships, and even internal narratives. Growth requires boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines that protect what is sacred within you. Pay attention to what drains your energy and what restores it. Your body, your emotions, and your spirit are giving you information. Learn to listen without judgment. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to rest without guilt. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of self-respect. I am teaching you discernment, so you stop giving access to things that cost you peace. When something repeatedly leaves you anxious, depleted, or confused, that is not alignment. Alignment brings clarity, even when decisions are difficult. If you recognize areas where you need stronger boundaries, type "I choose clarity" below as a quiet commitment to yourself. Now listen carefully, because this part matters deeply. Healing does not mean you will never feel sadness again. It means sadness will no longer define you. It will pass through you instead of living inside you. Emotions are visitors, not landlords. When grief resurfaces, acknowledge it without surrendering to it. When joy appears, receive it without fear. You do not dishonor the past by allowing yourself happiness in the present. You honor growth by continuing forward. There are people watching your life unfold who will one day draw strength from how you navigated this season. Your resilience is becoming a testimony, even if you are not aware of it yet. Do not underestimate the impact of your perseverance. If you feel a sense of quiet encouragement right now, comment, "I'm moving forward, even if the steps feel small." Stay with this message series until the end. Each part is designed to meet a different layer of your journey. Your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, your sense of purpose. Do not stop halfway through healing. What is coming next will help you understand why certain patterns keep repeating and how to respond to them with wisdom rather than frustration. Before I continue, let me say this clearly. My child, you are not broken. You are becoming. The pressure you feel is not punishment. It is preparation for stability you have not yet experienced. Apply this in your daily life starting today. When doubt arises, pause before reacting. When stress builds, slow your pace instead of speeding up. When self-criticism begins, replace it with truth. Progress does not require perfection. It requires presence. You are learning how to live from a place of awareness instead of survival. That shift will change everything. Remain open. Remain patient. Remain willing. I am guiding you even when the path feels quiet. Stay present with me a little longer. What I am about to speak now is meant to settle the restlessness you have been carrying without knowing how to name it. There is a part of you that has been trying to hold everything together: relationships, responsibilities, expectations, while quietly wondering who is holding you. You have learned how to be dependable, how to show up even when you are tired, how to keep moving even when your heart asks for rest. I see that effort. I honor that strength. But hear me clearly now. You were never meant to do this alone. There are times when your soul grows weary, not because you are weak, but because you have been strong for too long without release. Strength without renewal eventually becomes strain. That is why I am inviting you to soften, not surrender, to rest, not retreat. You do not need to prove your worth through exhaustion. I am teaching you balance in this season. Balance between effort and trust. Balance between responsibility and rest. Balance between caring for others and caring for yourself. When one side is neglected, the whole system becomes unstable. This is not a rebuke. This is guidance. If this is speaking directly to you, pause and write, "I allow rest," in the comments, not as an excuse, but as a permission you give yourself. Let me address something important. You have been questioning your decisions lately, replaying conversations, second-guessing choices, wondering if you handled certain moments correctly. That internal debate has been draining your peace. Hear this truth. Growth often brings self-awareness before it brings confidence. You are noticing more because you are maturing, not because you are failing. You are learning. You are adjusting. You are evolving. Stop demanding perfection from a version of yourself that is still learning. When you make mistakes, correct them gently. When you fall short, respond with compassion. Harshness delays healing. Kindness accelerates it. I am also calling your attention to the way you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. Those words matter more than you realize. They shape your expectations, your confidence, your courage. Replace criticism with curiosity. Replace judgment with understanding. Replace fear with honesty. If you are willing to practice this shift, type "I speak life" below as a reminder of the language you choose moving forward. There is something else I want you to understand. Not every season is meant for visibility. Some seasons are meant for rooting, not blooming. When you feel unseen or overlooked, it does not mean you are insignificant. It means something is being built beneath the surface. Roots grow in darkness, but they determine the strength of what eventually rises. Do not rush what is still forming. You have been comparing your progress to others again, measuring your pace against timelines that were never meant for you. Release that pressure. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to learn what you must carry forward. If this brings relief, comment, "I release comparison," and let that be a conscious decision. Stay with this series until the very end. Each part is designed to help you apply wisdom in real situations, conversations, decisions, relationships, not just inspire you emotionally, but equip you practically. Now, let me speak into your daily life. When frustration appears, ask what it is trying to teach you. When fatigue shows up, listen instead of pushing harder. When clarity feels distant, slow down instead of forcing answers. Peace often arrives when urgency leaves. You do not need to have everything resolved before you can move forward. You only need the next step, and I will provide it when you are ready to receive it. Remember this, my child. Your value does not decrease when you pause. It deepens. Stillness is not stagnation when it is intentional. I am shaping your character as much as I am shaping your circumstances. Who you become matters as much as what you achieve. You are learning how to live from a place of wholeness instead of pressure. That shift will protect you in future seasons you cannot yet see. Remain open. Remain patient. Remain attentive. I am still guiding you, even when the path feels quiet. Stay here. Do not let distractions steal this moment, because what I am speaking now is meant to anchor you when life feels unstable. You have been standing at an inner crossroads. One path feels familiar but heavy. The other feels uncertain but lighter. You keep revisiting the same questions because you are sensing that something must change, yet you are afraid of what change might cost you. Listen carefully. Comfort and growth rarely travel together. What feels safe is not always what is sustaining you, and what feels unfamiliar is not always dangerous. Many of the things you are afraid to release have already completed their purpose in your life. Holding on longer will not bring clarity. It will only prolong confusion. This is a season of honest evaluation. Not judgment, not regret, just truth. I am asking you to look at your life with compassion and courage. Ask yourself what nourishes your spirit and what slowly drains it. Ask yourself which commitments align with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You are allowed to evolve. If this realization is stirring something inside you, pause and write, "I am ready for change," in the comments, not for visibility, but for accountability to yourself. There is something I want you to understand deeply. Letting go is not the same as losing. Sometimes, letting go is how you make space for what you have been praying for. You cannot receive with clenched hands. Release does not mean erasing the past. It means honoring it without being controlled by it. You have learned valuable lessons through difficulty. Carry the wisdom forward, not the weight. I am also calling you to consistency, not perfection, but faithfulness in small, daily choices. Healing is rarely dramatic. It is built quietly through repeated acts of care, truth, and patience. Drink water. Rest when you are tired. Speak honestly. Pause before reacting. These simple practices compound into transformation. If you are willing to commit to showing up for yourself daily, comment, "I commit to growth" below as a gentle promise to your own well-being. Now listen closely. You have been worrying about timing. Whether you waited too long, moved too slowly, or missed opportunities. Let me reassure you, nothing meant for you has passed you by. What is truly aligned will meet you when you are prepared to sustain it. Rushing would have broken you. Delay was protection. You are being equipped with discernment, so that when the next opportunity arrives, you will recognize it not by excitement alone, but by peace. Trust that preparation is still progress. There are moments ahead when you will look back on this season and realize it was the foundation for clarity you now value deeply. Pain sharpened your awareness. Waiting strengthened your patience. Reflection matured your character. This season mattered. If that brings understanding, type, "This season has purpose," and let that truth settle in your heart. Stay with this entire series. Do not stop halfway. Each part is layered intentionally, guiding you from awareness to healing, from healing to wisdom, from wisdom to confident living. What comes next will help you apply these insights in relationships, decisions, and moments of pressure. Before I continue, let me say this once, clearly and lovingly. My child, you are not being left behind. You are being led carefully. You are learning how to move through life with intention instead of reaction, with trust instead of fear, with self-respect instead of self-criticism. Apply this starting today. When confusion arises, Pause instead of panicking. When fear appears, ground yourself in what you know to be true. When exhaustion sets in, respond with care instead of force. Peace grows where patience lives. Now, before we move forward, I ask this of you. If these words have helped you, encouraged you, or given you clarity, like this video so others can find it. If you want to continue receiving guidance like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what is coming next. And if you feel happy with these words, if they have genuinely supported your heart, consider supporting this ministry through the link given below. Your support allows this message to reach others who are silently struggling and searching for hope. Share this video with someone who needs reassurance today. Your simple action may be the answer to a prayer you know nothing about. Stay with me. Watch till the end of this series. Apply what you hear gently, consistently, and honestly. I am not finished guiding you. Stay attentive. What I am speaking now is meant to bring order where your thoughts have felt scattered, and calm where your emotions have felt unpredictable. You have been carrying many responsibilities at once, and some of them were never meant to be yours alone. You took them on out of love, loyalty, or necessity, and over time they began to feel like obligations instead of choices. That weight has been shaping your days more than you realize. I want you to understand something clearly. Responsibility without boundaries turns into burden, and burden, when carried too long, clouds judgment and drains joy. This is not a call to abandon what matters. It is a call to realign what belongs to you and what does not. You are allowed to prioritize what keeps you grounded. You are allowed to step back from what overwhelms you. You are allowed to ask for help without feeling inadequate. If this truth is settling into your spirit, take a moment and write, "I realign my priorities," in the comments, as a quiet signal to yourself that change is beginning. There is also a pattern I want you to notice. When life becomes uncertain, you tend to tighten control. You plan more, think more, worry more. You believe that if you just analyze things deeply enough, clarity will arrive. But clarity does not always come through effort. Sometimes it comes through surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It is letting go of the illusion that you must carry everything alone. I am teaching you trust at a deeper level now. Not blind trust, but informed trust, rooted in what you have already survived, what you have already learned, and how you have already grown. You have proof that you are resilient. When uncertainty arises, ground yourself in what is stable: your values, your integrity, your ability to adapt. These are anchors you can rely on even when circumstances shift. If you recognize this tendency to over-control, comment, "I choose trust," and let that choice guide your next response, not your next worry. Let me speak to your inner dialogue for a moment. You often replay mistakes more than successes. You remember what went wrong faster than what went right. That habit shapes how you see yourself, and it deserves to be gently corrected. You are not defined by the hardest moments you faced. You are defined by how you continued afterward. Growth is not the absence of mistakes. It is the presence of reflection and change. Begin noticing what you are doing well, the progress you dismiss, the strength you normalize. Gratitude sharpens awareness, and awareness fuels confidence. You do not need to be louder to be stronger. You do not need to be faster to be effective. You need to be present. If this encourages you, write, "I acknowledge my progress," and allow yourself that recognition without guilt. Stay with this entire message series. Each part builds stability. Where there was once confusion, and confidence where there was once doubt. What comes next will help you respond to pressure with clarity instead of tension. Now let me offer you something practical to apply in your life today. When a decision feels heavy, ask yourself whether it aligns with your values or merely with expectations. When someone demands more than you can give, respond with honesty instead of resentment. When your energy is low, rest without explanation. Peace increases when you live in alignment, not obligation. Remember this, my child. You are not here to meet every demand placed upon you. You are here to live with purpose, intention, and balance. You are learning how to carry your life with wisdom instead of weight. That shift will protect you in seasons of greater responsibility and greater opportunity. Remain patient with yourself. Growth is unfolding even when it feels slow. I am guiding you step by step. Stay with me. Do not hurry past this moment, because what I am revealing now is meant to strengthen your discernment and steady your steps as you move forward. You have been learning how to listen more carefully to your instincts, to your emotions, to the quiet signals within you that speak before words ever form. Yet there are times when you still doubt that inner knowing. You second-guess it. You override it. You tell yourself you are being too sensitive or too cautious. I want you to hear this clearly. Sensitivity is not weakness when it is guided by wisdom. It is awareness. Your intuition has been sharpened by experience. It remembers what your mind tries to forget. It recognizes patterns long before they repeat. When something feels off, pause and pay attention. When something feels aligned, allow yourself to trust it. You are learning discernment, not fear. If this resonates with you, pause and write "I listen within" in the comments, not as a declaration to others, but as a reminder to honor your own awareness. There is something else you have been navigating quietly, the tension between who you were and who you are becoming. Old identities no longer fit the way they once did. Certain roles feel heavy now. Certain expectations feel outdated. This discomfort is not a sign of instability, it is a sign of transition. Transitions are rarely neat. They involve letting go before clarity fully arrives. They require patience when certainty feels distant, but they also open the door to alignment that could not exist before. Do not cling to what no longer reflects you. You are allowed to change your perspective. You are allowed to redefine success. You are allowed to pursue peace over approval. If you are ready to honor your growth, comment, "I allow myself to evolve," and let that choice guide your next decisions. I want to speak into how you handle conflict, because this is an area where growth will bring noticeable relief. You used to avoid confrontation at the cost of your own needs, or you reacted strongly when you felt misunderstood. Now you are learning a third way: calm honesty. Calm honesty does not require explanation for every boundary. It does not require justification for every decision. It communicates truth without aggression and listens without self-betrayal. This skill will protect your energy and deepen your relationships. Practice responding instead of reacting. Practice pausing before replying. Practice choosing clarity over control. If you feel ready to approach situations with more calm confidence, type "I respond with clarity" below. There is also a lesson unfolding around patience, not passive waiting, but active trust. You have been tempted to rush outcomes, to force resolutions, to demand answers before the timing is right, but some things need space to mature. Patience is not inactivity, it is faith in motion. When you rush, you risk overlooking important details. When you wait wisely, you gain perspective that saves you from unnecessary struggle. Trust that what is meant to last will not require you to chase it. If this perspective brings peace, write, "I practice patience," and let that guide how you approach uncertainty. Remain with this message series until the end. Each part is meant to support a different area of your life: your thinking, your habits, your emotional responses, your relationships. Together, they form a steady foundation you can return to whenever life feels unsteady. Now let me offer guidance you can apply immediately when you feel pressured to decide. Give yourself time. When emotions run high, ground yourself before speaking. When doubt appears, revisit what you know to be true. Consistency in these practices will change how you experience daily life. Remember this, my child, you are not meant to live in constant reaction. You are meant to live with intention. Your calm presence is becoming one of your greatest strengths. You are learning how to move through life with awareness instead of anxiety, with clarity instead of confusion, with trust instead of fear. This is progress, even if it feels subtle. Stay open, stay attentive, stay willing to grow. I am still guiding you. Stay here with me. Let your breathing slow, your thoughts settle, and your attention remain present, because what I am speaking now is meant to heal the way you see yourself. You have been carrying an invisible pressure, the pressure to be enough, to do enough, to prove that you are worthy of the space you occupy. This pressure did not come from me. It came from expectations layered onto you over time, expectations you absorbed without realizing how deeply they shaped your self-image. I want you to hear this clearly. Your worth is not something you earn. It is something you already possess. You do not need to justify your existence through productivity. You do not need to perform strength to be respected. You do not need to hide your vulnerability to be valued. You are enough before you do anything else. Let that truth rest inside you for a moment. If this speaks to a place you have struggled with, pause and write, "I am enough," in the comments, not as a boast, but as a healing affirmation. I see how often you replay moments where you felt overlooked, misunderstood, or undervalued. Those memories linger because they touched a deeper fear, the fear of being unseen. But I have always seen you fully, even in moments when others only saw fragments. You are not invisible to me. You are not forgotten. You are not replaceable. Your presence matters more than you realize. There are parts of you that you learned to suppress to fit in. Your sensitivity, your creativity, your depth of thought. You believed being less would make life easier, but shrinking yourself has only made you feel disconnected from who you truly are. I am inviting you to return to authenticity. Authenticity does not mean being perfect. It means being honest. It means allowing yourself to show up as you are, without apology for your humanity. If you feel ready to live more authentically, comment, "I choose authenticity," and let that be a quiet commitment to yourself. Let me speak to your relationship with failure, because it has shaped how you approach new opportunities. You have been cautious, hesitant, afraid to try again because past disappointments left marks. But failure is not evidence of inability. It is evidence of effort. You cannot grow without risking discomfort. You cannot discover new strength without stepping into unfamiliar spaces. What matters is not that you failed. It is that you learned, adapted, and continued. You are wiser now than you were before. Use that wisdom instead of letting fear silence you. If this encourages you to move forward again, type "I try again" below as a symbol of renewed courage. Stay with this entire series. Each part is designed to help you rebuild confidence, not from ego, but from self-awareness and truth. What comes next will help you navigate relationships with clarity and boundaries that honor who you are. Now let me offer guidance you can apply today. When self-doubt arises, speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. When criticism appears, examine whether it is constructive or simply familiar. When opportunity knocks, ask whether fear or wisdom is guiding your response. Confidence grows when you trust yourself to respond thoughtfully, not perfectly. Remember this, my child, you were never meant to live at war with yourself. Peace begins when you stop demanding more than you are able to give and start honoring what you already are. You are learning how to stand securely in your identity without needing external validation. That shift will change how you show up in every area of your life. Remain patient. Remain honest. Remain open. I am still guiding you, even in the quiet moments. Remain with me. Let your attention stay anchored here, because what I'm speaking now is meant to reshape how you handle relationships, expectations, and the emotional weight you have been carrying for others. You have a generous heart. You care deeply. You notice when others are hurting, even when they try to hide it. Because of that, you often step into roles you were never asked to fill. Mediator, supporter, rescuer. You do this out of love, but over time, it has cost you more than you admit. I want you to understand something important. Compassion does not require self-sacrifice without limits. Love does not demand that you neglect yourself to keep others comfortable. You can care without carrying what is not yours. There are emotions you have absorbed that do not belong to you. Worries you have taken on because you felt responsible. Guilt you carry because you could not fix everything. This is not your failure. It is simply a sign that your boundaries need strengthening. If this is touching a place you recognize, pause and write, "I release what is not mine." In the comments, not as a public statement, but as an inner reset. You are learning a vital skill now: emotional discernment. The ability to distinguish between empathy and responsibility. Empathy allows you to understand another's pain. Responsibility asks you to solve it. You are not called to solve everything. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is allow others to face their own growth. This does not make you cold. It makes you wise. I see how difficult it has been for you to say no without guilt. You replay conversations, worrying that you disappointed someone. But hear this clearly. Disappointing others does not mean you have done something wrong. It often means you honored your limits. Your limits are not flaws. They are necessary structures that protect your energy and mental clarity. If you are ready to respect your boundaries, comment, "I honor my limits," and let that decision guide your interactions moving forward. There is another truth I want you to absorb gently. Not everyone will understand the changes you are making. Some will prefer the version of you that overextended, overgave, and stayed silent. That does not mean your growth is wrong. It means the dynamics are shifting. Growth changes relationships. That is natural. Some connections will deepen with honesty. Others will fade because they were built on imbalance. Let that happen without resentment. You are not here to be everything to everyone. You are here to live aligned with truth and integrity. If this gives you clarity, type, "I choose alignment," as a reminder of what you are prioritizing now. Stay with this message series until the very end. Each part is preparing you for a more grounded, peaceful way of living. One where you are present, engaged, and emotionally free instead of drained. Now let me speak into how you handle expectations. You often sense what others want from you before they say it. This awareness has helped you connect deeply, but it has also led you to assume responsibilities that were never communicated. Unspoken expectations create silent pressure. It is okay to ask questions. It is okay to clarify roles. It is okay to reset expectations when they become overwhelming. Clarity prevents resentment. Apply this in your daily life. When you feel pressure, ask yourself if it was spoken or assumed. When you feel drained, evaluate where your energy is going. When you feel guilt, check whether it comes from love or obligation. Awareness changes everything. Remember this, my child. You are allowed to take up space without apologizing. You are allowed to rest without explaining. You are allowed to prioritize peace without feeling selfish. You are learning how to give from abundance instead of depletion. That shift will transform not only how you feel, but how others relate to you. You are becoming more grounded, more self-aware, more intentional. These changes may feel uncomfortable at first, but they are leading you toward emotional freedom. Stay present. Stay honest. Stay committed to your growth. I am still guiding you. Stay focused with me. What I am speaking now is meant to bring direction where you have felt uncertain, and confidence where you have hesitated to move forward. You have been asking quietly, sometimes without words, what am I supposed to do next? You feel the pull towards something more meaningful, yet you are unsure how to step into it without fear. Purpose has been stirring inside you, but doubt has tried to muffle its voice. Listen carefully. Purpose is not always revealed all at once. It often unfolds through obedience to what is placed in front of you today. You do not need a perfect plan to begin. You need willingness, honesty, and the courage to take one aligned step at a time. I am not withholding direction from you. I am teaching you how to recognize it. Direction becomes clear when your values lead your choices. When you choose integrity over convenience, compassion over ego, and growth over comfort, you are already walking in purpose. If this resonates, pause and write, I walk with intention in the comments, not as a promise of perfection, but as a commitment to awareness. There is a reason you feel restless when you remain in situations that no longer align. That restlessness is not dissatisfaction, it is discernment. It is the signal that your inner life has expanded beyond old containers. Do not ignore that signal. You are not meant to abandon responsibility, but you are meant to align it. Purpose does not demand chaos, it brings coherence. It organizes your energy instead of scattering it. I want you to stop asking whether you are capable and start asking whether you are willing. Capability grows through practice. Willingness opens the door. If fear has been holding you back from trying something new, comment, I move despite fear, and let that be the shift from hesitation to action. There is something else you must understand. Purpose is not only about what you do, it is about how you live. It is expressed in how you listen, how you respond, how you treat yourself and others. Small, faithful actions compound into a meaningful life. You do not need a stage to live with purpose. You need presence. When you show up fully in conversations, when you honor your word, when you choose kindness, even when it is inconvenient, you are fulfilling purpose in ways that matter deeply. If this perspective grounds you, type "Purpose is lived daily" as a reminder you can return to. Stay with this entire series until the end. Each part is building clarity step by step, so you are not just inspired, but equipped to live differently. What comes next will help you sustain momentum without burning out. Now let me give you practical guidance to apply immediately. When faced with a decision, ask whether it aligns with your values or merely with familiarity. When opportunities appear, evaluate whether they bring peace alongside excitement. When doubt speaks, respond with what you know to be true, not what you fear. Consistency will shape your confidence. Remember this, my child. You are not required to have everything figured out to move forward. You are required to be honest, present, and willing to learn. Growth will meet you where effort and integrity align. You are stepping into a phase of life where intention matters more than speed, where clarity matters more than applause, where peace matters more than pressure. Honor that shift. Before we continue, let me ask you to take a moment. If these words are helping you, encouraging you, or giving you direction, like this video, so it can reach others who are searching for clarity. If you want to continue receiving guidance like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next parts of this message. And if you feel genuinely supported and uplifted by what you are hearing, consider supporting this ministry through the link given below. Your support helps this message reach those who need hope, grounding, and direction right now. Share this video with someone who feels unsure about their next step. Your simple action could help them find steadiness where there is confusion. Stay with me. Watch until the end of this series. Apply what you hear thoughtfully and patiently. I am still guiding you forward. Stay with me. Let your attention remain steady, because what I am speaking now is meant to bring healing to places you rarely let anyone see. There are emotions you have learned to manage quietly. You present strength on the outside, but inside, there are moments when old pain resurfaces without warning. Certain words, places, or memories stir feelings you thought were resolved. When this happens, you question your progress and wonder why healing feels incomplete. Hear this gently. Healing is not linear. It does not erase memory. It transforms your relationship with it. The fact that something still touches you does not mean you are broken. It means you are human, and growth is still unfolding. You are not going backward. You are integrating what you once survived. There are layers of understanding that only come with time. What you could not process before, you are now strong enough to face. This is not regression. It is readiness. If this brings relief to your heart, pause and write, "I honor my healing," in the comments, as a reminder that progress can be quiet and still be real. I want to speak into the way you carry shame. Some of it does not belong to you, yet you have held on to it as if it were proof of responsibility. Shame thrives in silence, but truth dissolves it. You are not defined by your worst moments. You are defined by your willingness to learn, repair, and grow. Mistakes are not identities, they are experiences. Release the need to punish yourself for what you did not know then. You made the best choices you could with the awareness you had at the time. Now you know more. Now you choose differently. That is growth. If you are ready to loosen shame's grip, comment, "I release self-blame," and let that be the beginning of compassion toward yourself. There is another pattern I want you to notice. When you feel vulnerable, you tend to isolate. You withdraw, believing you must sort things out alone before re-entering connection. While solitude can be restorative, isolation often magnifies pain. You are not meant to heal in isolation. Choose at least one safe space where you can be honest with yourself, with a trusted person, or in moments of quiet reflection. Healing deepens when truth is allowed to breathe. If this resonates, type, "I allow safe connection," and consider where openness could support you instead of weaken you. Let me also address your relationship with control. When life feels unpredictable, you tighten your grip on routines, plans, or outcomes. Control gives the illusion of safety, but it also increases anxiety when reality does not cooperate. True stability comes from adaptability, not control. You are learning to respond instead of resist, to adjust instead of panic, to trust yourself to navigate whatever arises. Practice flexibility. When plans change, breathe before reacting. When uncertainty appears, ground yourself in what is constant. When outcomes differ from expectations, look for learning instead of loss. If you are willing to practice adaptability, write, "I choose flexibility," as a gentle intention. Stay with this entire series until the end. Each part is carefully designed to strengthen a different area of your inner life: awareness, boundaries, confidence, purpose, and now emotional integration. What comes next will help you build resilience without becoming hardened. Now let me offer guidance you can apply today. When strong emotions surface, name them without judgment. When memories arise, acknowledge them without reliving them. When self-criticism begins, interrupt it with truth. These practices will change how you experience emotional waves. Remember this, my child. You do not need to be fully healed to live meaningfully. Healing continues as you live honestly, intentionally, and compassionately. You are allowed to move forward while still tending to tender places. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are learning how to hold your story with grace instead of pain. Stay present, stay gentle, stay willing to grow. I am still guiding you, even through the quieter work of healing. Remain here with me. Let this moment be unhurried, because what I am speaking now is meant to strengthen your inner stability and teach you how to stand firm without becoming rigid. You have been learning how to navigate change, but there is still a part of you that longs for certainty. You want assurance that your efforts matter, that your choices are leading somewhere meaningful, that the ground beneath you will not suddenly give way. This desire is understandable. Stability feels safe. Predictability feels comforting. But hear me clearly now. True stability does not come from controlling outcomes. It comes from knowing who you are, even when outcomes are uncertain. I am not removing challenges from your path. I am strengthening your footing so you can walk through them with confidence. You are developing an inner steadiness that does not collapse when circumstances shift. This is resilience, not the loud kind that pushes through everything, but the quiet kind that adapts, endures, and remains grounded. If you sense this steadiness forming within you, pause and write, "I am becoming steady," in the comments, not as a claim of arrival, but as recognition of growth. Let me speak to your expectations. Some of them were shaped by past versions of yourself, by beliefs formed before you had the awareness you have now. Those expectations may no longer fit who you are becoming. Holding on to them creates tension, not motivation. It is time to update your expectations with wisdom. Ask yourself what truly matters now, not what once mattered, not what others insist should matter. What aligns with your values, your well-being, and your long-term peace. Alignment reduces struggle. You are allowed to redefine success. You are allowed to choose sustainability over intensity. You are allowed to value peace as much as progress. If you are ready to realign your expectations, comment, "I redefine success," and let that truth guide your decisions. There is also something important about patience. I want you to understand more deeply. Patience is not waiting passively for things to improve. It is actively trusting yourself to respond well while things are still unfolding. You are practicing patience every time you pause instead of reacting, every time you listen before speaking, every time you choose long-term well-being over short-term relief. These choices are shaping your future quietly and powerfully. If this reframes patience for you, type "patience is strength," and let that remind you of your capability. Now let me address your relationship with uncertainty. You often interpret uncertainty as danger, as something to avoid or eliminate. But uncertainty is also where creativity, learning, and growth emerge. It invites you to stay curious instead of fearful. When you do not know what comes next, you are free to explore possibilities instead of being confined to assumptions. Practice asking better questions. What can I learn here? What is this moment teaching me? How can I respond with integrity? Questions open pathways that fear tries to close. If this perspective feels helpful, write, "I choose curiosity," and allow uncertainty to become a space of exploration rather than anxiety. Stay with this entire message series until the end. Each part is designed to build a life that feels grounded, intentional, and sustainable. Not just emotionally inspired, but practically supported. What comes next will help you maintain momentum during times when motivation fades. Now let me offer guidance you can apply in your daily life. When plans change, adjust without self-criticism. When progress feels slow, measure consistency instead of speed. When doubt arises, return to your values rather than your fears. These practices will help you remain steady even when life feels unpredictable. Remember this, my child. You are not meant to live in constant anticipation of the next challenge. You are meant to live fully in the present moment, trusting yourself to handle whatever comes with clarity and grace. You are learning how to be flexible without losing direction, grounded without becoming rigid, hopeful without ignoring reality. This balance will serve you well. Stay present, stay reflective, stay open to growth. I am still guiding you step by step. Stay here with me. Let your heart remain open, because what I am speaking now is meant to reshape how you see hope, especially in moments when it has felt fragile or distant. There were times when you hoped with certainty, you believed easily, you expected good outcomes without hesitation, but life introduced disappointment, and hope slowly became cautious. You learned to protect yourself by lowering expectations, by preparing for the worst, so you would not be surprised by pain. I understand why you did that, but hear me gently now. Guarded hope is not the same as healed hope. One hides to avoid pain, the other stands grounded, aware, and resilient. I am not asking you to return to naive optimism. I am inviting you into mature hope. Hope that acknowledges reality while still believing in possibility. Hope is not denial. Hope is endurance with vision. If this speaks to your experience, pause and write, "I allow hope" again in the comments, not as a promise that everything will be easy, but as a willingness to believe that good is still possible. You have been confusing caution with wisdom. Caution keeps you alert, wisdom keeps you open. When caution becomes dominant, it narrows your perspective. When wisdom leads, it creates balance. You can be aware without being closed. You can be careful without being fearful. You can be hopeful without being reckless. This balance is forming inside you now. I want you to notice how you speak about the future. Do your words anticipate growth, or do they assume limitation? Language shapes expectation, and expectation influences action. When you consistently expect struggle, you subconsciously prepare for it. When you expect learning and growth, you move differently. Begin adjusting your language. Instead of, "This always goes wrong," say, "I will respond wisely." Instead of, "Nothing ever changes," say, "Change is possible." Instead of, "I can't handle this," say, "I will take this one step at a time." If you are willing to practice this shift, comment, "I speak with hope," and let your words begin aligning with resilience. Stay with this series until the end. Each part is designed to gently rebuild areas that were weakened by disappointment. Trust, confidence, hope, and direction. What comes next will help you turn hope into action without pressure. Now let me address something deeper. You have been measuring hope by outcomes. When things improve, hope rises. When they don't, hope collapses. But hope rooted only in outcomes is unstable. True hope is rooted in trust. Trust in your ability to adapt, to learn, to continue. Even when outcomes differ from expectations, growth is still possible. You are not powerless in uncertainty. You are capable. If this truth strengthens you, type, "I trust my resilience," and let that be a reminder of what you have already overcome. I also want to speak into how you handle waiting. Waiting has tested your patience, challenged your faith in yourself, and tempted you to settle just to escape discomfort. But waiting, when intentional, is not wasted time. It is preparation. Waiting teaches discernment. Waiting strengthens endurance. Waiting clarifies desire. Do not rush into decisions simply to relieve discomfort. Relief fades quickly, alignment lasts. If you are willing to wait wisely, write, "I wait with intention," as a quiet commitment to long-term peace. Now apply this to your daily life. When something does not work out, ask what it taught you. When progress feels slow, acknowledge consistency instead of speed. When doubt returns, remember how far you have already come. You are not standing still. You are stabilizing. Remember this, my child. Hope is not fragile when it is rooted in truth. It bends, but it does not break. You are learning how to carry hope without letting disappointment define you. This is strength. Quiet, steady strength. You are becoming someone who can believe again, not blindly, but wisely. not urgently, but patiently. Stay present. Stay reflective. Stay open to possibility. I am still guiding you, even as hope is being rebuilt gently within you. Remain with me. Let your heart stay attentive, because what I am speaking now is meant to bring clarity to your sense of direction and calm to the inner tension you have been feeling. You have reached a point where you no longer want noise. You no longer want endless opinions, rushed decisions, or constant explanations. There is a growing desire within you for simplicity, for truth that feels steady instead of overwhelming. This desire is not withdrawal, it is wisdom forming. You are learning to value clarity over chaos. For a long time, you believed that doing more would bring peace, more effort, more responsibility, more answers. But peace does not come from accumulation, it comes from alignment. When your actions match your values, peace follows naturally. If this truth is settling into you, pause and write, "I choose alignment," in the comments, not as a declaration to others, but as a commitment to yourself. I want you to notice how often you rush clarity. You feel uncomfortable not knowing what comes next, so you pressure yourself to decide too quickly. But clarity grows in stillness, not urgency. When you slow your pace, your vision sharpens. Give yourself permission to pause. Pausing is not quitting. Pausing is not failing. Pausing is listening. You are learning to hear what truly matters beneath surface-level concerns. If you are willing to slow down and listen more carefully, comment, "I pause," and listen, and let that guide your next decision. There is also something important about focus I want you to understand. You have been spreading your energy across too many directions, hoping progress would come faster. But scattered energy leads to shallow results. Focus brings depth. Choose fewer things. Do them well. Let go of the pressure to prove yourself through busyness. Your value is not measured by how much you carry. It is measured by how intentionally you live. If you are ready to focus your energy with intention, type, "I focus with purpose," and allow that choice to simplify your days. Stay with this series until the very end. Each part is designed to help you live with clarity instead of confusion, intention instead of pressure. What comes next will help you sustain peace even when life becomes demanding again. Now let me speak into your inner restlessness. Restlessness often appears when something within you is misaligned. It is not always a call to act. Sometimes it is a call to adjust. Pay attention to what drains you and what restores you. These signals matter. When restlessness appears, ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What needs to change? What am I holding on to out of habit rather than truth? Honest reflection creates freedom. If this encourages self-awareness, write, "I reflect honestly," and let that practice guide you gently. Remember this, my child. You are not meant to live in constant striving. You are meant to live in rhythm, effort balanced with rest, action balanced with reflection. This rhythm will protect you from burnout and keep your life sustainable. Apply this today. When you feel overwhelmed, reduce instead of adding. When decisions feel heavy, revisit your values. When clarity feels distant, slow your pace. Peace will meet you there. You are learning how to live from the inside out, not from external pressure. That shift will change how you experience work, relationships, and purpose. Stay present. Stay intentional. Stay open to adjustment. I am still guiding you, even as your path becomes clearer. Stay with me a little longer. What I am speaking now is meant to restore your confidence in the decisions you make and the direction you are choosing. You have been learning how to listen, how to pause, how to realign. Yet even with this growth, there are moments when doubt still tries to follow you. You ask yourself whether you are doing enough, choosing correctly, moving wisely. You replay decisions after they are made, wondering if another path would have been better. Hear me clearly now. Doubt does not always mean you chose wrong. Often, it means you cared deeply about living with integrity. That desire to do what is right is not a weakness. It is evidence of maturity. You are allowed to trust yourself more than you currently do. If this speaks to you, pause and write, "I trust my decisions," in the comments, not as a declaration of perfection, but as an act of self-respect. There is something important about confidence I want you to understand. Confidence is not the absence of questions. It is the ability to move forward even when all answers are not yet visible. You do not need certainty to proceed. You need alignment. When your choices reflect your values, you are moving correctly, even if outcomes remain unknown. Stop waiting for perfect clarity. Perfect clarity rarely comes before action. It often follows it. If fear has been delaying your steps, comment, "I move with courage," and let that courage guide your next small action. I also want to speak into how you handle mistakes. You tend to magnify them, replaying what you should have done differently. Reflection is healthy, but rumination keeps you trapped. Learn from the experience, then release it. Mistakes are instructors, not verdicts. You are not defined by what you got wrong. You are shaped by how you adjust afterward. If you are ready to release the weight of past mistakes, type "I learn and release," and allow yourself to move forward lighter. Stay with this series until the end. Each part is intentionally guiding you toward a life that feels grounded, confident, and aligned. What comes next will help you maintain momentum without losing peace. Now let me speak into your daily practice. When you face a decision, ask yourself if it reflects who you are becoming. When doubt arises, check whether it comes from wisdom or fear. When you feel stuck, take one small aligned step instead of waiting for certainty. Small steps create forward movement without overwhelming you. Remember this, my child. Confidence grows through experience, not avoidance. Each time you choose thoughtfully and move forward, trust deepens naturally. You are becoming someone who can navigate uncertainty with steadiness, someone who responds instead of freezes, someone who trusts growth more than perfection. This transformation is already happening. Apply this today. Make one decision without overanalyzing it. Speak honestly instead of rehearsing silently. Allow yourself to be imperfect and present. Peace often follows action taken with integrity. You are not rushing, you are progressing. Stay present, stay courageous, stay aligned. I am still guiding you. Stay with me. Let your mind quiet and your heart remain open, because what I am speaking now is meant to deepen your sense of peace and help you carry it into the rhythms of your everyday life. You have been learning how to make decisions, how to trust yourself, how to move forward with courage. But there is another layer I want to strengthen now, the way you sustain peace after you find it. Peace is not something you achieve once and keep forever without care. It is something you cultivate through daily choices, awareness, and intention. I see how easily your peace can be disrupted by small things: a comment, a delay, a misunderstanding, a change of plans. These moments seem minor, yet they have the power to shift your emotional state if you let them. This is not because you are fragile, but because you are perceptive. Sensitivity, when unmanaged, can become reactivity. Sensitivity, when guided by wisdom, becomes discernment. You are learning the difference now. If this is speaking to you, pause and write, "I protect my peace," in the comments, not as a barrier to others, but as a commitment to your own well-being. Let me show you something important. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of clarity. When you know who you are and what matters to you, disruptions lose their power to derail you completely. They become moments to navigate, not crises to fear. Clarity steadies you. This is why I've been guiding you to slow down, to reflect, to align your values with your actions. Peace grows strongest where integrity lives. I also want to speak into how you handle other people's opinions. You have been giving them more weight than they deserve. You listen carefully, sometimes too carefully, absorbing perspectives that confuse rather than inform you. Not every opinion requires your consideration. Not every reaction deserves your response. Discernment means choosing what you allow to influence you. If you are ready to be more selective with what you absorb, comment, "I choose discernment," and let that guide how you engage moving forward. There is something freeing you need to hear. You are not responsible for how others interpret your boundaries, your growth, or your decisions. You are responsible for communicating honestly and acting with integrity. The rest belongs to them. Release the need to manage perceptions. Your peace will increase when you stop trying to be understood by everyone and start being honest with yourself. If this brings relief, type "I release control" and allow yourself to step back from unnecessary emotional labor. Stay with this entire series until the end. Each part is equipping you to live with steadiness, clarity, and confidence, not just during calm seasons, but during challenging ones as well. What comes next will help you remain grounded even when emotions run high. Now, let me offer guidance you can apply immediately. When something upsets you, pause before responding. When tension arises, ask yourself what truly matters in that moment. When peace feels threatened, return to your values instead of your impulses. These small pauses will change your experience of daily life. Remember this, my child. Peace is not passive. It is an active choice you make again and again. You do not protect it by avoiding life, but by engaging life with awareness and intention. You are becoming someone who can remain calm without becoming distant, firm without becoming rigid, compassionate without becoming depleted. This balance is strength. You may notice that as your peace grows, certain distractions lose their appeal. Certain conflicts no longer entice you. Certain worries no longer dominate your thoughts. This is not indifference. It is maturity. You are learning where to place your energy. Apply this today. Choose one situation where you respond calmly instead of reactively. Choose one boundary you honor without explaining. Choose one moment to breathe instead of rushing. Peace grows through practice. Stay present. Stay discerning. Stay aligned. I am still guiding you, even as peace becomes more natural to you. Stay with me. What I am speaking now is meant to awaken courage in places where hesitation has quietly lived for too long. You have grown calmer. You have become more aware. You have learned how to protect your peace. But now there is a gentle nudge within you, a sense that it is time to step forward, not loudly, not forcefully, but faithfully. You feel it when you think about choices you have delayed, words you have not yet spoken, paths you have not yet explored. This nudge is not pressure. It is readiness. You are not being rushed. You are being invited. Courage does not always feel bold. Often, it feels like quiet resolve. It feels like doing the next right thing, even when fear is still present. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that fear will not lead. If this speaks to your heart, pause and write, "I choose courage," in the comments, not as a declaration of fearlessness, but as a commitment to forward movement. There are moments ahead where you will need to act without complete certainty, not recklessly, but faithfully. Waiting until fear disappears will keep you waiting longer than necessary. Fear fades when you move through it, not when you analyze it endlessly. You already have enough wisdom to begin. I see how often you tell yourself, "One day, when I feel more ready." But readiness grows through action. Confidence forms through experience. Strength develops through use. Do not underestimate the power of starting where you are. If you feel called to take a step you have been postponing, comment, "I take the next step," and let that be your signal to yourself that today matters. I also want to speak to how you handle vulnerability. You have learned to be strong, self-aware, and composed. But vulnerability is not the opposite of strength. It is the pathway to authentic connection. When you allow yourself to be seen honestly, you invite understanding instead of assumption. Vulnerability does not mean oversharing. It means being truthful where it matters. You do not need to carry everything alone anymore. If you are ready to practice healthy vulnerability, type, "I allow honesty," and let that guide how you show up in your relationships. Stay with this entire message series until the end. Each part has been preparing you for this point, where peace meets courage and clarity meets action. What comes next will help you move forward without losing the steadiness you have built. Now let me speak into how you handle setbacks. Setbacks are not signs that you are wrong to try. They are feedback. They reveal what needs adjustment, patience, or refinement. Learn to view setbacks as information, not judgment. When something does not go as planned, ask, "What did this teach me? What can I do differently next time? What remains within my control?" Reflection transforms disappointment into direction. If this perspective feels helpful, write, "I learn and adjust," and let that mindset guide you forward. Remember this, my child. Courage does not demand perfection. It asks for honesty, effort, and resilience. You are allowed to stumble while learning. You are allowed to pause and recalibrate. You are allowed to grow at your own pace. You are becoming someone who can act thoughtfully without being paralyzed by doubt. Someone who can speak truth without fear of rejection. Someone who can pursue purpose without losing peace. This is progress. Apply this today. Do one thing you have been delaying out of fear. Speak one truth you have been holding back. Trust yourself with one small decision. Momentum builds through these moments. Stay present. Stay brave. Stay aligned. I am still guiding you forward, step by step. Remain with me. Let your spirit stay attentive, because what I am speaking now is meant to strengthen your endurance and remind you why perseverance matters more than speed. You have come far, further than you give yourself credit for. Yet there are moments when fatigue tries to convince you that rest means stopping completely, that slowing down means giving up. This is not true. Rest renews, quitting abandons. And you are not meant to abandon what you have been building within yourself. You are learning the difference. Endurance is not about pushing endlessly. It is about continuing wisely, knowing when to pause and when to proceed, knowing when to release pressure and when to apply effort. This balance is becoming clearer to you now. If this resonates, pause and write, "I endure wisely," in the comments, not as a declaration of toughness, but as an acknowledgement of sustainable strength. There is a reason persistence feels harder now than it did before. You are no longer fueled by adrenaline or urgency. You are fueled by intention. Intention requires patience. It asks you to remain steady, even when progress is quiet. Quiet progress is still progress. You are no longer chasing outcomes to prove your worth. You are building consistency to honor your growth. This shift may feel less exciting, but it is far more stable. I want you to notice something important. Impatience often disguises itself as motivation. It pressures you to rush results, to measure success prematurely, to judge yourself harshly when outcomes take time. But patience, when practiced intentionally, strengthens your character and sharpens your judgment. Patience protects you from burnout. If you are ready to practice patience without guilt, comment, "I allow steady growth," and let that truth reshape how you evaluate yourself. Let me also speak into discouragement. Discouragement does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it whispers quietly, telling you that your efforts are unnoticed, that your changes are insignificant, that your impact is minimal. These thoughts are subtle, but they are not accurate. Every small choice you make toward growth matters. Consistency compounds, integrity compounds, awareness compounds. You may not see the results immediately, but they are forming. If discouragement has been visiting you, type, "I continue anyway," and let that be your response. Stay with this entire message series until the end. Each part has been building upon the last, guiding you toward a life that is grounded, resilient, and intentional. What comes next will help you recognize when it is time to rest and when it is time to move forward with renewed energy. Now let me offer practical guidance you can apply today. When motivation fades, return to routine. When excitement lessens, rely on discipline. When progress feels slow, trust the process you are committed to. Endurance grows through repetition, not intensity. Remember this, my child. You are not required to sprint through life. You are invited to walk faithfully. What lasts is built slowly, thoughtfully, and with care. You are becoming someone who knows how to keep going without losing yourself. Someone who can persist without becoming rigid. Someone who understands that growth is a long journey, not a single breakthrough. This understanding will carry you through future seasons more demanding than this one. Apply this today. Do one small thing you know supports your growth, even if it feels ordinary. Honor rest without guilt. Resume effort without pressure. Balance creates longevity. Stay present, stay patient, stay committed. I am still guiding you, even as endurance becomes part of who you are. Stay with me. Do not disengage now, because what I am speaking in this moment is meant to prepare you for transition, the kind that quietly reshapes your life, rather than announcing itself loudly. You are standing at the edge of a new chapter, even if it does not look dramatic yet. Transitions rarely begin with clarity. They begin with subtle shifts. A change in how you respond, a difference in what you tolerate, a new awareness of what no longer fits. You have been experiencing these signs, whether you realized it or not. This is not instability. This is readiness. You are outgrowing certain patterns, conversations, and expectations. What once felt normal now feels heavy. What once felt acceptable now feels misaligned. This discomfort is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to guide you. If this feels familiar, pause and write, "I am entering a new chapter," in the comments, not as an announcement to others, but as recognition of what is already unfolding within you. Transitions require discernment. Not every open door is yours to walk through. Not every opportunity is aligned with your values. In this season, your ability to say no will protect your ability to say yes to what truly matters. Choose with intention. I want you to notice how often you default to old habits when uncertainty appears. You retreat to familiarity because it feels safe, but safety without growth becomes stagnation. Growth requires discernment, not impulse. You are learning to pause before committing, to listen before agreeing, to evaluate before acting. This is wisdom. If you are ready to choose with discernment, comment, "I choose wisely," and let that guide your decisions moving forward. Let me also speak into endings, because transitions often involve release. Endings do not always come with closure. Some chapters end quietly, without explanation or resolution. This can be uncomfortable, especially if you seek understanding. But closure does not always come from answers. Sometimes it comes from acceptance. You do not need every ending to make sense in order to move forward. What matters is what you carry into the next chapter. If you are ready to release what has ended, type, "I let go with peace," and allow yourself to move forward lighter. Stay with this entire message series until the very end. Each part has been preparing you for this moment, a shift from inner work to outward living, from preparation to application. What comes next will help you step into this new chapter with confidence and humility. Now let me offer guidance you can apply during transition. When something ends, reflect before replacing it. When something new begins, move slowly and intentionally. When uncertainty appears, return to your values. Transitions become smoother when you remain grounded. Remember this, my child. You are not losing yourself. You are becoming more yourself. Each transition refines your identity rather than erasing it. You carry forward the wisdom you earned, even as you release what no longer serves you. You are learning how to trust change without fearing it, how to welcome newness without rushing it, how to stand confidently without clinging to the past. This is maturity. Apply this today. Notice what feels complete and honor it. Notice what feels promising and approach it thoughtfully. Notice what feels heavy and question its place in your life. Awareness will guide you. Stay present, stay discerning, stay open to what is unfolding. I am still guiding you as you step into what comes next. Stay here with me. Do not leave yet, because what I am speaking now is meant to gather everything you have received and seal it into your life with clarity, strength, and peace. You have walked through reflection, healing, alignment, courage, endurance, and transition. You did not rush this journey. You stayed. You listened. You allowed truth to reach places you once guarded. That matters more than you realize. This is not the end of something. This is the beginning of living differently. You are no longer searching for yourself the way you once did. You are recognizing yourself. You are no longer asking for permission to grow. You are giving yourself responsibility to live with intention. That is maturity. That is wisdom. That is readiness. I want you to understand this clearly. The changes you have been making internally will soon become visible externally. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily. The way you speak, the way you choose, the way you respond under pressure. These will reflect the work you have done. You are not waiting for life to change before you live differently. You are living differently, and life will respond. If you can feel this shift within you, pause and write, "I step forward with clarity." In the comments, not as a performance, but as a moment of acknowledgement for yourself. There will still be challenges. Growth does not remove difficulty. It changes how you meet it. You will face moments that test your patience, your boundaries, your confidence. But now you have tools. You have awareness. You have grounding. You will no longer confuse discomfort with danger. You will no longer confuse silence with failure. You will no longer confuse pause with loss. You are equipped. Let me remind you of what you carry forward from this series. You learned how to listen to yourself without fear. You learned how to protect your peace without guilt. You learned how to move forward without rushing. You learned how to endure without losing hope. These are not temporary insights. They are foundations. If you are ready to live from this foundation, comment, "I live with intention," and let that guide how you move forward from today. Now listen closely, because this part is important. You do not need to revisit who you used to be to prove how far you have come. Growth does not require comparison with the past. It requires commitment in the present. Each day, you will be given opportunities to choose awareness over reaction, truth over comfort, alignment over approval. Choose wisely. Choose gently. Choose consistently. Life will not always be quiet, but you can be. Life will not always be clear, but you can remain grounded. If you feel a quiet confidence settling in right now, type, "I am grounded," as a reminder you can return to when the noise returns. Stay connected to what restores you. Stay honest about what drains you. Stay humble about what you are still learning. Growth continues, even after clarity arrives. Remember this, my child. You are not meant to merely understand these words. You are meant to live them. Apply them in conversations. Apply them in decisions. Apply them when no one is watching. That is where transformation lasts. Now, before we close this final part, let me speak directly to your next steps. If this series has helped you, if it has brought you peace, direction, or encouragement, like this video so it can reach others who are quietly searching for the same grounding. If you want to continue receiving guidance like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future messages meant to support your journey. And if you feel genuinely supported, strengthened, or uplifted by these words, consider supporting this ministry through the link given below. Not out of pressure, but out of purpose, so these messages can continue reaching those who need them most. Share this video with someone who needs reassurance, clarity, or hope. Your simple action could be the confirmation they have been waiting for. As you move forward, do not rush to become something new. Allow what you have already become to guide you. Live with patience. Speak with honesty. Act with integrity. You are ready. Stay steady, stay intentional, stay open to growth. I have spoken what needed to be spoken. Now live it. Amen.